Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to set up the SKSE development environment and how to create this mod totally from scratch. It is a very simple mod, just a single hook. To show you a bit how hooks work, this mod multiplies all damage dealt and taken by 10 times. The hook we will do not need reverse engineering. CommonLib has everything that we need to hook the function we will hook in this tutorial. I will show every step needed to do the mod from the very beginning. We will start by downloading the required programs that are Mod Organizer, Visual Studio Code, and Git. I will show you the installation process, clone the dependency repositories that are VC package and CommonLib, set up the environment variables, clone the template repository. Finally, I'm going to show a function in CommonLib that is used to assign health damage. We will hook that function and change its behavior in various ways. Now let's start by downloading the programs. Download Mod Organizer. The downloads folder is good for me, so I click on Save. Download Git. Going into the next link, download VS Code. Again into the next link, download Visual Studio. Let's now install Mod Organizer. If you already have any of these programs installed, just skip the ones you already have. Click on Yes. Select Accept the Agreement, then click on Next. Here you can choose where you want the Mod Organizer to be installed. Click on Next. In this page you can enable and disable some features. I will just leave it as it is. Click on Next. I clicked on Next again as I do not want the desktop shortcut. Finally click on Install. As you can see, Mod Organizer is installing. And click on Finish. Mod Organizer should be open now. I will show the basics of Mod Organizer setup in case you do not know already. Click on Next. Here you can choose if you want a global instance. Usually that's the correct choice. Now select the game and select the store you purchased the game from. Choose the name of your instance. In most cases, you will want profile-specific INI files and save games. This path is needed for the environment variable, so I will save it. I will paste it on the top of this file. You should connect to Nexus here. After doing that, click on Next and then on Finish. Mod Organizer will now open. I do not want to see the tutorial. If you want, you can click on Yes. You should import the Nexus categories. Let's install Git. Click on Next. You can customize the folder where you want Git to be installed. Then click on Next again. Here you can customize some of the Git features. For me, the default ones are good. You can choose the Start Menu folder. I will also leave the default. You can change the text editor used by Git. This option is about the default name of the initial branch. I will let Git decide. I will just skip a few more choices and install. You can look at each of them and see if there is anything you want to change. Now I will install VS Code, accept the agreement, and click on Next. You can customize the folder where VS Code will be installed. choose the Start menu folder. One thing that I like to do is enabling Open with Code on the Windows Explorer context menu. Finally, click on Install. Wait for VS Code to finish installing. I do not want to launch VS Code right now. We just need to install Visual Studio now. Click on Yes. Continue. Wait for Visual Studio installer to download. We need to enable C++ and also the Windows 11 SDK. Finally, click on Install. That should take a long time. I will be back when it's done. If you already had Visual Studio installed, you can open the Visual Studio installer and enable the features I just installed. I will close this window now. Navigate into somewhere safe to store the dependencies. You cannot delete them later, otherwise your mods will no longer compile. Click in the address bar and type cmd or PowerShell. We need to run the first command in order to download VC package. After it's done, run the second command to download CommonLib. Go back into your folder, press F5 to refresh, open the VC package folder, double-click Bootstrap VC package. You can click on the Start menu, then search for environment variables. Click on this program. Click on Environment Variables. You can either set them up as a user or system variable. I choose user variable. Click on New. Paste the first variable name. Open the VC package folder and copy its path. Paste it on the variable value. Now let's define the second variable. Click on New and paste the second variable name. The value should be inside the path we saved earlier. We can paste the path into Windows Explorer, navigate into the mods folder, copy the path and paste it as a value. If you already had Mod Organizer installed, here is how you can find the mods folder. You can copy this path and put it into the environment variable. Now let's define the last variable. Click on New, paste the variable name, navigate into the folder where you downloaded CommonLib, copy the path, and paste it into the variable value. Click on OK, and again on OK. Now let's clone the template repository to see if our setup worked. To do so, I will use the command git clone. Open the folder. I want to delete the .git folder, but it is hidden. To do so, I need to enable the display of hidden files. One thing that you may want to do here is disable hide extensions of known file types. I will apply and click on OK. Now I can delete the .git folder. So this folder is no longer linked to the original repository. Let's open this folder on Visual Studio. This is the first time we open it, so Visual Studio is asking for some user preference. Now we have to wait a bit while CMake finishes generating. I will be back when it's done. Press Shift Ctrl B to build the mod. The first build should take longer than the other builds. Again, I will be back when it's done. Finally, we can open Mod Organizer. If you press F5, you see that your mod is there. You can enable it. I will show the files that were created. Outside the virtual machine, I'll give you a practical example. I already found a function on CommonLib that I want to hook. Now I will show you how you can find functions like the one I found. You can open the CommonLib folder, right click on an empty space, and click on Open with Code. On the left menu, you have a search bar that you can use to search, for example, for the functions you want to hook. You can see that VS Code found the do damage function. If you want to search for a specific file, you can press Ctrl P, then type a part of the file name. Here are some files that may have something interesting. TES object reference, player character, and actor. There is a lot more. You can look at the files to find what you need. Now let's create a simple mod. You can click on the address bar and press CMD to open the command prompt. You can clone the repository that will be on the video description. Open it on Visual Studio. We need to wait for CMake to finish generating. We will be writing our code on the hooks file. CMake generation is finishing. I will press Shift Ctrl B to build the project. With a hook, we are intercepting a function that the game is already calling. When you hook a function, you can modify its parameters, modifying the game. You can also hook something and not modify anything, but call your own functions. I will clean up the workspace a bit. You can look in CommonLib for functions to hook. Every function like the one I'm showing you, which is mostly a relocation, can be hooked with a Detour. I will paste a sample Detour hook I have. It will be on the video description. I will do a video on the future about the types of hooks you can have. I deleted some of the code from the old hook that we will not need. We are having no IntelliSense. I will close Visual Studio and open it again to see if the IntelliSense will be back. Now you can see that Visual Studio is highlighting the code and errors. I will match the signature of the function I want to hook. You can see that there is a this parameter here. We need to pass that parameter too. I will paste the parameters CommonLib gave me and add the this parameter at the beginning. This is referencing the class where the function is defined on CommonLib. Fix the missing RE namespace and delete the code from the example I pasted. We need to match the signature of the original function with all of its parameters and return value. Very important, you need to use the address library IDs of the function you are hooking. Otherwise the hook will not do anything or you just crash. Update the return time. The function signature must be an exact match, otherwise you will end up breaking the game. Or also here you may crash. Install the hook. Right now this hook is not doing anything. Let's set the damage to 0 so nobody in game do any damage. I will update the mod basic information, the author name and the mod name. Press Ctrl S to save and Shift Ctrl B to build the mod. There are some requirements that you will need to both download and inform the users. One of them is SKSE. Make sure you choose the right version for your game version. I will download the GOG version. Open my game folder. Extract SKSE. And drop the contents into the Skyrim folder. Now I will download the address library. Let's add a new profile to start the game through SKSE. Select the SKSE loader. Check Force Load Libraries. And I will check Use Application Icon for desktop shortcuts. Make sure it starts at the game folder. I will also rename it to SKSE. Let me make SKSE the first option on the list. I will drag it all the way up. We are ready to see the mod in action. F5 to refresh the mod list. Enable your mod and clicking Run to start the game through SKSE. I press the quotation mark to open the console, type COC Reviewed and press Enter. As you can see, nobody can deal damage to anyone. Now, instead of dealing no damage, you're going to multiply the damage by 10. By just multiplying the A health damage parameter by 10. Let's build, launch the game and test it again.
What? What is it now, Mother?
It was as big as...
Now I tell you a bit about source control. To be able to commit, you need to run these commands. But replacing my GitHub username with your GitHub username. Now I will run each of them. You should change the license related files before doing the initial commit. If you are creating the repository the way I did, you should first commit the template so you can revert back any changes. It is a good practice to check each change before each comment. 2. Make sure all changes are intended. As I already know the files I'm commenting, there is nothing that is unintended there. A comment must have a description. As I only run the comments I show you early on a virtual machine, I have to run a comment I created. Now let's publish to GitHub. I usually start my repositories as private. I will show how do you commit a change to your repository. Let's say we want the damage to be 100 times instead of 10 times as much. We can check the changes we made, stage them, give it a descriptive message, commit, finally push. Let's say you are unhappy with the change. Be careful with what I'm going to do, especially when collaborating. You can use the reset command to undo the last comments from the head. And git force push, because Git will not accept a regular push. And you can fix the comment before commenting it again. Thank you guys for watching. I will do more videos about modding in the future. I hope this tutorial was useful to you.